ॐ वाङ्मे मनसि प्रतिष्ठिता मनो मे वाचि प्रतिष्ठितम् आविराविर्म एधि वेदस्य महाणीस्थ श्रुतं मे मा प्रहासीः अनेनाधीतेनाहोरात्रान् सन्दधामि ऋतं वदिष्यामि सत्यं वदिष्यामि तन्मामवतु तद्वक्तारमवतु अवतु माम् अवतु वक्तारमवतु वक्तारम् ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः ॐ May my speech be firmly established in my mind. May the mind too be firmly established in my speech. May there be perfect correspondence between my thoughts, words, and actions. May the truths of the scriptures come to me. May not what I learn from them ever forsake me. Let me live my life day and night according to their teachings. I shall speak what is appropriate. I shall speak the truth. May that protect me. May that protect the teacher. Om. Peace, peace, peace. Let us feel the center of our consciousness. It is luminous, unchanging, beyond the changing body and mind. Let us feel that as a steadily burning candle flame and concentrate on it. As I concentrate on it, I see the flame has become more luminous and also bigger. My whole personality is occupied by that intensely luminous candle flame. I am light, made of light, just as all limbs, all parts in a wax statue are made of wax. So also I am made of light. my all limbs, all organs, bones, blood, everything is this light of this self. And I see the same light has pervaded everything around. The whole universe is that very light. There is nothing else but this light of the Atman. This is the source of all bliss. All love and peace. Om. Peace, peace, peace. So, dear friends, from today, this Tuesday, we shall begin the classes on as per year, this year's classes on mysticism. From 2008, we have been conducting every summer a series of on the teachings of various mystics, because it is the mystics who bring to us the very essence of what is called religion. Normally, you see, religion gets, represented as various different rituals, observing certain customs, or as a tool of politics and the social relations, connections, and so forth. But the real core of religion is the experience of God. God is the reality. And that reality can be and should be experienced. As Sri Ramakrishna often said, that God realization is the goal of human life. So, the lives of mystics of various different religions, born in various different places on earth, they all testify this truth, that whatever may be the name of the religion, whatever may be the external forms that we are aware of that, yet if we study deeply, in the core of that is this mysticism, this teaching that God is our true nature. God is the reality. And that is where we experience the ultimate bliss and peace and love. Otherwise, we may call ourselves religious. We may perform like they in Hindus. Big temples are erected, and then people flock there to celebrate some festivities. just socialize with others, have nice food, and that's it. That is about the practice of religion in most of the Hindus. Similarly, in Islam or Christianity, Judaism, the mystic aspect is not really studied much or not followed much because inherently we are so attached, so caught up in this various affairs of the world, I and mine. This is I. A big misconception, friends, to consider that I am a heap of bones, blood, flesh, and all that. I am really not that. To think that I am this flesh, heap of flesh, it is a total misconception. And we carry this misconception and yet also want to pose as a religious person. So, what then do? We distort the religion, bring it down to the level where it is caught in various hundreds of ceremonials and so forth. But when we look in the lives of these great mystics, then we get a glimpse of what religion really is. It is to experience the truth that God is. God is the reality of everything. So, just as the screen in a movie is the reality of all the pictures that we see on the screen, and there is no other reality but that of that screen. So, we see this truth, and thus we start feeling peace in life, caught in the various turmoils in this world. They are, if you see closely, they are in this misconception of I and mine. Uh, I am this body and others' bodies, they are mine. Some are mine, some are not mine, some are temporarily mine, not afterwards mine. All these ideas they create so much unrest, uh, and we do not know what is the meaning of love because somebody I think I love, but then I soon see no, I don't really love that person. I am attached, I am caught, I have lost my freedom. Although I crave for freedom, I have lost my freedom, I lost my joy. That is not really practice of religion. In the life of such great these teachers of religion or mysticism, you see this, that they are uh, fully illumined, fully happy. There is no iota of sadness in their life. Moreover, that happiness doesn't come from anything external. It does not depend on certain things outside, like our Juthika sitting here uh, feels happy if her daughter behaves nicely with her. If not, then she feels unhappy. Now, that happiness, so it is not in Juthika's hands. It is dependent on how that girl is going to behave with her, and that she can't control naturally. So that is how our joy gets mortgaged in many such things, many such events, but this mystic experience brings the truth of the religion, and every year in summer, therefore, we take it up from 2008. So, how many years now? 17 years. Huh? So, this is the 17th year that we are having this, and uh, we are continuing this year the same study of Futuhat that we started last summer, because it is a big book. And so we shall continue it from the summer of 2024. Every year, every summer, we get maximum 8 Tuesdays to conduct these classes. This year, there will be only 4 because I'll be going to India, so I will not be able to conduct more classes in summer this year. So, this book, Futuhat, is a huge, huge book. It is this written by this great mystic and considered the real scholar of Islam. He has written about 350 books. Imagine, it is. He was. We had actually studied these things last year, but just to recapitulate, that he was born July 28, 1165, in Murcia, Andalusia, Spain. So, and he stayed there for in Spain quite a few years, and then passed away in Damascus, Syria. So, Muhyiddin, that what it means is the reviver of religion. He got this title, Muhyiddin Ibn Arabi. So, uh, he is also called Al Sheikh Al Akbar, as what it means is the greatest master, and considered by most Islamic schools as the most influential among the Sufi mystics. All Sufi mystics that came after him have admired him and learned from him. So that is how Muhyiddin Ibn Arabi's greatness is. And this shows you the handwriting. He wrote himself all these books, and this is the opening page of this. There is the manuscript kept in Konya, Turkey, of this Al Futuhat Makkiyah means actually the revelations that he had in Mecca when he was having this pilgrimage to Mecca, and he stayed there for 3 years. And during that time, he had these many revelations. The religious knowledge comes not by following the rationalistic attitude only. Rationalistic attitude gives rise to what is science and is therefore limited by subject object relationship. But beyond that, the knowledge comes as a matter of revelation. The knowledge of non duality, the Advaita, that knowledge can never be arrived at by any rational discipline. A rational discipline, as we shall see, can show us that how the duality that we experience is false. Mm. Reason does that work. Reason is therefore compared to a police. Police. if you do not do any charitable work, if you do not go to help others, the police will not do anything about it. But the negative aspect, if you go to harm somebody, if you go to murder somebody, then police will catch you. That is the job of the police. Hey, why don't you give donation? That police will not. Or why do you not help others? That police cannot tell you. That is up to you. But if you want to go and rob somebody, no, you should not do that. Police will stop you from doing it. So that is how the reason's job is. That it can show us that how our perception of duality gives rise to innumerable contradictions. And contradiction means what, in mathematics there is a method used, Our professor of mathematics sitting here can tell that proof by contradiction means if you want to prove something, you assume the opposite of it. And by assuming opposite of it, you show that it leads to contradiction. Why it led to contradiction? What it means is your assumption was not right. So throw away that assumption, and thus the theorem that you wanted to prove gets proved. So this is how reason's job is. And otherwise, you get the knowledge of God through this spiritual experience that is beyond rationality. That is why it is called revelation. And revelation, friends, does not mean, that anything that is irrational doesn't mean it is spiritual. Many people have these attacks of insanity, and they keep on talking all gibberish, irrational things. Does it mean, Teresa, that they have got spiritual revelations? No. Many drink spirits and they start talking nonsense. And so is it spiritual realization? No. It has to be a higher explanation. Something that the reason cannot do. That thing is being explained, revealed, and your level of knowledge, it doesn't reject reason, but it goes beyond reason. The two things are very different. Being irrational and going beyond rationality, the difference is to be understood. That here, therefore, we see that he had all these revelations, Meccan revelations. He has other books also, and then in fact, the scholars assert that no religious philosopher of Islam after him is without a deep impression of his teachings. He wrote over 350 books, and the essence of his teaching, and we will see that again in actually written in Arabic. God is oneness in love for him. It is, see, the Sufi mystics and uh, these many other non-dualistic teachers, there is this difference you find, that the Sufi mystics chose the path of devotion or love. Love God. Instead of going by just not this, neti neti path of Advaita Vedanta, what they did was try to feel God, love God, because love is a very big force in life. This word is misused more than actually used. Love is a great feeling that everybody has, and God is the source of all love. It is God, therefore, alone can be actually loved. Nothing else can be loved really. God alone can be loved. So, this is the special feature, like many saints that we see, many of them they followed this path of love. Like you see many saints in the region that I actually was raised in, that saints like Jnaneshwar is they full of love. Not that there was any lack of knowledge, but the easiest path is love. That is why there is a beautiful book on Christian mysticism. That is, we had taken it in these mystic studies, summer sessions once. It is the cloud of unknowing. Cloud of Unknowing, a great book. So, there the author mentions that it is very important to learn to love God, because God cannot be approached through reason but can be approached by love more easily. Sri Ramakrishna also asserts this truth, that yes, go by love. So God can be actually made your own through love. So this Ibn Arabi's teachings are all about this love, and his childhood was here in this Andalus. So uh, Andalusia, some call it Andalus. So it is there in Spain, Murcia, the province. Murcia is the name of the town, and here he spent his childhood. And his mother is most probably from Tlem, Tlemcen, Algeria. Tlemcen was the name of this Algeria. In his Futuhat al-Makaya, he writes of a deceased maternal uncle, a prince of Tlemcen, who abandoned wealth for an ascetic life after encountering a Sufi mystic, and decided to give up all. It is people see this truth, that all the wealth, power, political power, progeny, and such things, what do they bring me? Ah, more bondage, more problems, more suffering. Do I want it? Do I want it? This question must be asked. Do I want it? What, Tilakji, do you want it? That more bondage? No, no more bondage. No, do you want more sufferings? No. Do you want to be more restless and lose peace? No, nobody wants that. But then goes after things which surely bring that. So therefore, this is when you see that all these things, they are bringing me more bondage, more suffering, and more loss of peace, lot of love, loss of love. So therefore, his he gave away everything, and like Buddha abandoned everything, and his father's ancestors came from Yemen, and father was a secretary or lieutenant to a king, advisor to a king. After this king was defeated by Al-Mohad Caliphate, the family moved to Seville in the court of Abu Yaqub Yusuf. Ibn Arabi was then 7 years old. He got the customary military training and other education at the royal court. But he mentions that his interest was more in playing with friends rather than studying books. Then an experience changed his life. Hmm. That experience, uh, he was an early teen when a mysterious experience, it is called in Arabic, and that word is used in Urdu also, fana. Means things become just like spirit, they vanish. Uh, do you use this in Punjabi? Huh? Huh? Oh, the movie. Oh, fana. Fana means all like bubbles, it vanishes. So that is fana. So it changed everything, a mysterious experience. He describes it, a differentiation of the universal reality, a differentiation of the universal reality comprised by that look. He saw Jesus who changed his understanding to the truth. He saw, as it were, Jesus and showing that how the universal reality, see, one must give a thought to it. It is matter of thinking that what we think is actually one aspect of the universal reality. So, if we want to understand and this reality, then we have to take into account the universal reality. Otherwise, we will not be able to understand even this small reality that we are in, because it is part of the infinite existence. It is. So, therefore, when he had this mystic vision of Jesus, things all changed. And then that change reflected in his day to day life. When our awareness changes, then our life accordingly changes. What our reality, told you, it is once during those Easter days. This was a very nice incident. I had come to here just a few months back. Uh, so, and Easter arrived, and somebody gave me as a present, brought a very good looking, that bunny, that a rabbit like thing, and very nice golden thing. And I saw, oh, nice. So I kept it on there was a TV then in my room. So I kept it on it as a decoration. And then there were many who knew what it is. I didn't know. And therefore what happened, one lady was, she was very fond of eating chocolate, and then she was hoping that I will open that and then share that chocolate with everybody. And then she waited, a week passed like that, and then finally she lost patience and said, Swami, when are you going to open that? What? No, that bunny that is, and distribute the candy. What candy? I didn't know, understand. So my response, otherwise, before that girl would have said that, I would have consumed all of it. But since I didn't think of it as chocolate, but she knew. So therefore her mind was going to that, all others who knew, they also, hey, when is it going to be broken and distributed? I was thinking it as a nice piece of decoration. That's all. So, as is our awareness, so becomes our behavior. Mm. Like if you consider a heap of bone, blood, flesh as my daughter, then what happens? Well, the mind becomes, connected with that. Hmm? What? Your mom is connected, Juthika, like that to you, isn't it? So it is, yeah, she is my daughter. And all reactions follow accordingly. If she thinks that this is God, then the reactions will be different. So, exactly his uh, Ibn Arabi's life changed. And then father noticed the change in him and spoke to a well-known philosopher there, Ibn Rushdi Averroes. He is still very well known among the Islamic world, especially for bringing up a harmony between the Islamic teachings and the teachings of Aristotle, that the Greek philosophy and all. So he was a follower of rationality. He and when therefore there is a story about what happened in their meeting, that Ibn Arabi went to see him, he welcomed him, and then it's a very that symbolically presented conversation. Uh, that Averroes said yes, Ibn Arabi also said yes. Then Averroes again said yes. This time Ibn Arabi said no. And he became displeased. Means, that the relative truth in this world of multiplicity, to know that the path of rationality is good. That is what science is. All the sciences follow that. It is good for that. So Ibn Arabi agreed with Averroes, yes. But when it came the question next time, when he says yes, now it is the question of the ultimate realization. Can that be obtained by reason? And Ibn Arabi said, no. And that is where, they then went on a different spiritual journeys. So, they, although he was the first guide in his life, that he mentions that he learned the distinction between rational scientific knowledge and the insight into much deeper reality. This is described in Upanishads. As you know the students of Upanishads, the two types of knowledge. You see that question being asked in the beginning of the Mundak Upanishad, that the questioner, a very brilliant man, he asked this question to great sage Angira, that the questioner's name was Shaunaka. That is how this great Upanishad begins, Mundak Upanishad. And the question is that Kasminnu Bhagavo Vijñate Sarvamidam Vijñatam Syat. What is it? That knowing which everything becomes known. So, see the question is very beautifully presented question. The questioner already has an understanding that there is some such thing, knowing which everything becomes known. The question is therefore not asked that is there such a thing? knowing which everything gets known? No. The question is, what is it? I know there is, but what is it? Knowing which everything becomes known. And then the sage replies that knowledge is of two types, you know. We use the same term, but actually there is aparavidya and paravidya, means the lower knowledge and higher knowledge. And lower knowledge, he describes that all knowledge that one gets by following the rational approach, understanding the words, understanding the meanings of those words, and all that. So, that is the rational approach that brings apara vidya. All scientific knowledge is on the basis of that. And that is where you see the human beings have progressed so much compared to all other species. Those species are much older than human beings. Human beings are maybe about 200,000 years old or so forth. Those other like mice or mosquitoes or cockroaches, many 30 million, 40 million, 100 million years old. But the difference is they were quite old, okay, agreed. But they are living the same way they were living. As the mice, they had their holes, and now also they live in similar holes, eat those whatever crumbs they have or such things. Whereas human beings, imagine, how much tremendous progress they have made. Everything is now that uh, made through this scientific progress. I make it a point to, uh, challenge people. Find anything in this hall that has come to you just by nature itself. You won't find a single thing. Everything is product of lot of many centuries of scientific investigation, developing technologies, and all that. Look at this simple thing, this pointer and for changing the screens. It is how it functions. It is magic, isn't it? Uh, that, but it functions, and you buy it for a few dollars. It is, but see, to in making this, thousands of years of technological advancement has gone in. It is even the plastic with which it is made, not easy to make. You don't find it in nature. Plastic, which has become a very ingrained aspect of our present day life. You don't get it in nature. It is through lot of studies and chemical engineerings, again and again making experiments, tremendous technological advancement with which, no other species put on clothes like we put on clothes. Uh, what have you, Jaya, seen? Anybody? People now put their pet dogs. Winter they put some sweater and all. But dogs themselves do not have any such thing themselves. They don't go to schools. Human beings put them into a dog school, you see. It is, they do not have those things. And so they do not develop. But this development is only upper, lower knowledge. It does not bring us the complete satisfaction. We remain still high and dry. An ancient person thousands of years ago also was feeling what this life is for, who am I, and so forth. The modern person also, in spite of, say, instead of living in a forest and mountain cave, lives in the Empire State Building in New York. What difference does it make? Nothing. The same craving, same feeling of insecurity and fear, and that all eats up in the vitals just as of ancient being and in the modern being. That is where now this spiritual wisdom is needed. That is called paravidya, knowing which nothing remains to be known. That is knowledge. The highest supreme knowledge is that knowing yourself. That is the best knowledge, as Socrates said, know thyself. That were supposed to be the last words of Socrates. And know thyself. Because all knowledge is in you. So it is, when you know that, that's it. Nothing remains to be known. At the age of 36, he left Andalusia and stayed in Tunisia for a year. After he returned, he met many Sufis and other saintly people there. And then he had bereavements, his father, and after his little time, his mother also passed away. He went abroad and returned briefly and left for Tunisia. Got a vision telling him to go to east, so he arrived in Mecca. He stayed there for 3 years and had many visions. He started writing this monumental Futuhat al-Makkiyah, the magnum opus work, continued for 3 decades. And it was not that, he was just dictating it, somebody was pinning it. No, he was writing himself. He spent the last years in Syria, Damascus. The main theme in his writings, Wahadat al-Wujud, which we may translate as oneness of being. Oneness of being. The variety that we see is deceptive. The being is one and the same. There is no difference there. You have waves on the ocean and different size, at different times they come up. But all waves, the reality is the same one ocean. The waves are infinitely many, but each wave in reality is ocean. It is, if we try to see that the oneness, there are many works of Swami Vivekananda, his lectures on Vedanta, they bring out that this idea of oneness. It's a solid mass at all levels. The same fundamental particles that make this body makes also the body of Sudhir, isn't it? No difference. The air also has the same fundamental particles. So, as these particles, we are really one. There is no difference in that. So, what Aditya, is it right? That we are all one, isn't it? Even externally speaking, we are all one because it is same particles. There is the very nice story that is mentioned by Paramahansa Yogananda in that book, a very well-known book, autobiography of a yogi. that a man went to a very saintly person and on Himalayas, went on climbing, went there, and then and that saint, he said, okay, take prasad, and just moved in the hands like that, and then gave. This is the uh, sweet. A sweet came into his hand, take it. He said, what is this? How do you get that sweet just like that from air? And the saint said, what air consists of? Tell me. These particles. What this sweet consists of? Same particles, isn't it? You don't know how to convert. I know, and therefore I am giving you sweet like that. Prasad. What, Tilakji, you don't accept? Hmm? No. Yes, 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 you do. Yeah. See, there is nothing you can find fault with. We human beings have this bad habit. Because I don't know something, I generalize it immediately. No, this is impossible. This cannot be done. Just because I do not know how to do it, and so I generalize. Nobody in the world knows it. No, that is not the case. So, this he he saw this oneness of existence. Uh, this is something that this also we had studied last year, but I am just taking it for continuation. When I commend, in fact, I praise myself because myself is the essence of my praise. And if I want to know His existence, I divide my processions into my opponents. Then I lose myself. This is a very tremendously mystic statement, that it is everything, if you see, it's I appearing in so many different ways. So, when I am praising God, actually I am praising myself because there is nothing as I, God alone is. See, that is how his tremendous realization is. Praising God, singing prayers to God, it is but that God is within me. I am divine, so it is praise of me. If I want to know uh, existence, it is I and the world. I divide it into two, as it were. Uh, it is a kind of arbitrary division. That therefore it is another challenge that I put. Show, try to find out where you end and the world begins. Draw a line where you end and the world begins. You will soon see that it is impossible to do it because such a line does not really exist. It is an imaginary line. Just as you see the horizon, is there really a line like that? There is no such line. It appears. Similarly, I and the world. It is all that division. You see, it is not really there. There is no such where the I ends and the world begins. So everything is I. This is the truth that you can see by uh, even by analysis. You can see the opposite cannot be true, and therefore this is true, but I have to experience it. So it is I divide myself as this and this. It is an arbitrary division. So for transactional purposes, that division I do, that's all. Uh, that it is, then I lose myself for his existence to be the only real existence, because his appearance is conditional upon my hiding. This is the great truth, friends. God comes when I is gone. That I is the obstacle. I separate. I, this, separate. That is how we do not see God. When this I is gone, then, yeah, then you see God everywhere, because that alone is. Like that another Sufi saying, न होती खुदी तो मैं खुदा ही तो था. Had this I-ness been not there, then I was a God, this separate I. And so that it gets lost. It is my hiding is important to realize the God. Uh, the real God is so sacred. He does never appear single, bare to us, while my essence is still manifest and I remain. When I am there, then God is not there. There is another Kabir's beautiful saying. Kabir was also a mystic, a Sufi mystic from India. So he used to say that Prema Gali Ati Sankari. The lane of love is very narrow. Either you will remain or God will remain. Both cannot remain. So, a wonderful idea. So, it is, if that was true, then he would be single, seeking and requesting my praise. This is impossible, but his existence is true only after my disappearance away from his essence and after my annihilation. Sri Ramakrishna used to say, therefore, like that আমি মরলে ঘুচিবে জঞ্জাল. In Bengali he would say, if the I is gone, then all problems are gone. God alone then shines forth. So this is how it is. He says, Allah means God. Allah is great and greatness is my gown. Bright is my moon and light is my sun. The east is my west, while setting places are my rising place, and parting is closeness, and closeness is parting, uh, and parting is closeness, and closeness is parting, coming together. And when you come together, you want to be apart. So that is parting. It is so. This is the Allah, and that is this. We shall see in details this idea later in the next class a little more. I had actually prepared something more also, but our time is quickly running out. So we will stop here. If you have any question, we can discuss. Yes, dear?
The Sufi,
Yeah, it's on.
the Sufis go by the path of devotion.
Yes.
What do you think of people who have devotion but who are not mystics?
Who are
But who are not mystics?
not?
Mystics.
Oh, they have devotion. That devotion, it is The question is interesting, that if we have devotion, but we are not mystics, you will become mystic. Automatically, the devotion will make you a mystic. Yeah, it is. Maybe in some future mysticism classes, we can have I mean, not me, but somebody else after 1,000 years will say, Charlie the mystic. Uh, so, the devotion makes a person gradually uh, love the God, and God becomes reality. See, whatever we love, you will see that our awareness gets pervaded by that. You don't think of anything else, only what you love. So, therefore, when you love God, what will happen, Teresa? Always, not just very often. You will not think of anything else because that is the reality. Yes. Yes, Tilakji. And then Aditya has a question.
Pranam Swamiji.
Pranam, pranam.
So simply realizing that I am not the real I, and being aware of it and understanding it and acknowledging it does not remove it though.
That is where the love, increasing love, spiritual practice comes into picture. That because our intellectual understanding is not really knowing. Intellectual understanding has to gradually seep to pervade our whole existence. Intellectually, one understands that is only very, very tiny part of knowing. It has to fill the whole. Otherwise, for example, that do you love your son because you know that it is son? You have read it in the book that he is your son? No. So it is like that. You have to know that God is the reality. God is my very own. Everything is divine. That is it. This Aditya has. Oh, you have a question?
Related to what Tilak asked,
Okay.
I want to experience God,
Yeah.
but I have to lose myself to experience God.
Of course.
Then what is the fun of experiencing God? Because I'm the one who wants to experience, like getting a toy, and I'm already grown up. I have to
Yeah.
work so hard to.
You
buy
are,
that
you
toy.
are, that question is very rational question. That if I do not remain, then who is going to experience? I want to experience God. That is the problem. That if you are there, the God will not be found. That is how it is, that one has to die. I told that humorous story that one little child was being, fondled and uh, loved by her aunt. Hey, uh, so Jill, how are you? Jill said, I am fine. Give me a kiss, dear Jill. Jill gives her a kiss. Then the aunt asked further that, do you love me, Jill? Jill said, yes, auntie, I love you. Really? Okay. Will you cry if I die? Jill said, yes, auntie, if you die, I will cry. Show me how you will cry. And Jill said, okay, die first. So it is something like that, that there is, if there is I, then there is the duality. And so you will not see God then. But it is once you have the experience, then you can generate so many I, they will not bind you. Yeah. That Aditya has a question.
Pranam Swamiji. So my question is also, I think everybody has similar questions about.
You ask your question, yeah.
No,
Hold
I was
it.
saying I think all of us have similar questions about what it means to lose oneself, to have that fana, when that experience of fana when you
Yeah.
become one with God. I mean, I think I think I wrote your words down. You said his appearance, as in the appearance of God, is only possible after my annihilation. Is that correct?
After means, it is not that there will be your annihilation and then that will come. It is your annihilation is another name
Hmm.
of God experiencing.
So,
It
so,
is.
mhm. So I mean, some of these words, I'm just thinking, these words like annihilation or death, it sounds kind of dark and painful, you know?
Well, it
How is
is
it, how does this fit with love? I'm curious.
with, the practice. The words are certainly, I agree, that words are very poor. Therefore, these truths are told to be beyond mind and beyond speech. So, therefore, when we use words, we have to take those words in a somewhat different sense, a transcendental sense. There we can get some meaning of it. Okay, friend, any question upstairs? No. So, Om Asato Ma Sadgamaya Tamaso Ma Jyotirgamaya Mrityormam Amritam Gamaya. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Lead us from the unreal to the real, from darkness of ignorance to the light of knowledge, from the limited mortal existence to the true immortal existence. Peace, peace, peace. Coming Sunday, as most of you know, coming Saturday, not Sunday, coming Saturday, 12th of July, and there will be this celebration of Guru Purnima. Guru Purnima is honoring the Guru, and that is the connector, we need a connector between what we see as I and what we see as God. The two get, as it were, connected. That connector is called Guru. So, uh, there will be special worship. There will be many other programs on that day. So you are welcome to join.